ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is on solving equations where you have to combine like terms and or distribute. So first of all, we need to define what a like term is to begin with. So basically, like terms are going to be terms with the same variable and exponent. So what I need you to do is make sure you write this down. If you need to press pause to get it down, go ahead and do that, all right? Now, what I want to do on these lines, though, is I want to write an example and a non-example so you can see what an example of like terms would be. So, one example of like terms would be 5x squared and negative 8x squared. These are like terms because the variables are the same. They're both x's. And the exponents are the same, okay? A non-example would be something like, so let's say non-example right here. And a non-example would be something like 4x cubed and 2x squared. These are not like terms because the exponents are not the same, even though the variables are the same, okay? One more non-example would be 5x and 4y. The exponents are the same, but the variables are different. Now remember, when we did scientific notation, we were not allowed to add these numbers together when the exponents were different. So same thing applies when we are combining like terms. So let's go ahead and combine some like terms. So example number 1. Combine the following like terms. What I'm going to do is I'm going to underline each set of like terms in a different color so you can understand what goes together, okay? And if this helps you out to sort out your information, please do so. So 5 is not like 3y or the negative 2x or this 4x or this negative 2y. There's nothing like it, so I'm going to copy it down, okay? The 3y has a negative 2y like it. So if I have 3y combine it with negative 2y, it just means 3 minus 2, which is 1y, or I can just say regular y. All right? And then we have negative 2x and positive 4x. When you combine those together, you get positive 2x. All right? Look at your final answer. See if there's anything that can be combined. Nothing can. So this is my final answer. All right, now we're going to distribute, which is review from last year. All I have to do is take the number on the outside of my parentheses and make sure that I multiply it through to everybody on the inside of my parentheses. So this 5 is on the outside. I'm going to multiply it by the w, and I'm also going to multiply it by the 3. So 5 times w would be 5w, right? If you have 5 sets of w, you've got 5w. And then 5 times 3 is 15. So these are my terms after I distribute 5. Okay, let's look at number 3. 1/3 gets multiplied to 3x, and 1/3 gets multiplied to 6. Well, hopefully you know that 1/3 of 3, if I take 3 and I take 1/3 of it, means I'm just going to divide it by 3, so I get 1. So this is 1x. And then 1/3 of 6 is 2, so I get 1x plus 2, or I can just say x plus 2. Okay, another way to think about it is like this. This is technically 3 over 1, right? So it's 1/3 times 3 over 1, which is 1 times 3 right here is 3. 3 times 1 is 3, so I end up getting 1. So that's how I get this one right here, okay? And then do the same thing with the 6. I'll multiply 1/3 by 6 over 1. I get 6 over 3, which is 2, which is where I get this 2 from right here, all right? And then number 4 is very tricky. Please be careful as you do number 4. So I'm going to take the negative 4 and multiply it to the 2x. Well, negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, so this will be negative 8x, all right? Then I'm going to multiply the negative 4 through to the negative 5. Well, negative 4 times negative 5, make sure you know it's a negative 5, would give you a positive 20. What's the point of all this? Well, sometimes you've got to distribute in an equation, and sometimes you'll have like terms in an equation, and this is going to help you out with all of this information, okay? So how do you do this in your equations? Turn to page 4 and let's look at what it says. Solve the following equations by first distributing, then you're going to combine your like terms. Then you're going to solve the rest of the equation the way we normally solved it. All right, so make sure you press pause if you still need to get this down. When you're ready to move on, we're going to solve question number 5 together. All right, so in question number 5, it says that the first thing that we need to do is distribute, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to see what is 7 times a and 7 times negative 2. Well, 7 times a is 7a, And then 7 times negative 2 is a negative 14. Then I copy the rest of the equation down. Okay? Now, this right here is your wall. Your equal sign is your wall. You are going to make sure that you do not combine things unless they're on the same side of your wall. So either combine on this side or combine on that side. But other than that, you can't combine like terms, okay? So let's take a look and see what's like each other. Well, 7a is like 2a. And when I combine those together, I end up getting 9a, okay? And then let's see if there's anything else that can go together. Well, I know that negative 14 is like this 5. So when I combine a negative 14 with 5, I get negative 9, right? And then I just copy the rest of the equation down. Now I solve my equation like we did when we talked about two-step equations. The first thing you're going to do is get rid of this green negative 9. The opposite of a negative 9 is a positive 9. Ask yourself, does this really cancel out to give me 0? Is negative 9 plus positive 9 going to make it disappear? Absolutely. So I end up getting 9a equals negative 9 because negative 18 plus 9 is negative 9. Make sure to use the square word strategy if you need to, okay? Last thing I need to do is get rid of this 9 in front of this a. Well, it's multiplication, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 9. 9 divided by 9 does cancel each other out to give you 1. You get 1a. But you don't have to write down 1a. That means that it's just plain and simply a. So your answer is a equals negative 1. All right, let's take a look at number 6 together. Remember, this equal sign is like your brick wall, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is see if there's any distributing that can be done. There is. I can distribute this number on the outside of the parentheses. Now, hopefully you understand that this is a negative 3 and not a positive 3 because of that minus sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy down the 4x. It stays as is, okay? And then when I multiply this number through, it's really negative 3 times 2x, which is negative 6x, okay? And then it's negative 3 times 8, which is negative 24, all right? Then I just copy the rest of the equation down, equals negative 12, all right? Then I'm going to see, are there any terms that are like each other that I can combine? Well, I know for sure that this 4x and this negative 6x are like each other. So 4x minus 6x is negative 2x, all right? Then I'm just going to copy the rest of my equation down again. I cannot combine the negative 24 with the negative 12 because they're on opposite sides, okay? Do not forget to copy down whatever you did not use in each line because each line has to be equal to the line above it, okay? So next thing I need to do is get rid of this negative 24. Well, I know that it's a negative, and to make it nothing, to make it 0, I know that adding 24 will cancel it out. So if I add 24 to both sides, negative 24 plus 24 is 0, so that's gone. And I get negative 2x equals, what's negative 12 plus 24? Hopefully you'll get 12, all right? Now I want to get rid of this negative 2 times this x. Well, the opposite of multiplication again is division. Divide both sides by negative 2. You end up getting x equals negative 6, okay? All right, now I want to show you guys how to do a check in an equation. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your answer that you got, which is negative 6, and you're going to plug it in for every x value you see in the original equation, okay? So you're going to say, so we'll write down that this is our check. You are going to say 4 times, and then I generally like to put it in parentheses because it makes things easier for me, okay? So 4 times negative 6, because that's what I'm plugging in instead of x, right? Minus 3 times 2, and then I'll have another set of parentheses, and it's okay to have a set of parentheses within another set of parentheses. So, again, sorry you guys, I'm going to just rewrite the equation on top, so that way it's easier to look at what I'm trying to do. And then I can just scroll over. So equals negative 12. So if you notice, I did 4 right here. Here's my 4. Instead of x, I replaced it with negative 6. Copied everything down, negative 3, parentheses, 2. Instead of x, I replaced it with negative 6 plus 8 equals negative 12. Now, don't forget order of operations. So we're going to do, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, PEMDAS, right? So the first thing I'm going to do are my parentheses. And inside of my parentheses, I'm going to follow order of operations again. So here I have multiplication, here I have addition. So I'm going to do my multiplication first. So I'm going to copy everything down except for what it is that I'm doing. So 4 times negative 6 gets copied down. Minus 3 times, now I'm going to do my multiplication first. So I get negative 12 plus 8 equals negative 12. All right. Now I'm not done with my parentheses. I got to finish this up. So I'm going to figure out what negative 12 plus 8 is. So 4 times negative 6 minus 3 times, this turns into negative 4. Okay. Equals negative 12. Now I have, on the left side, I've got multiplication, subtraction, multiplication. I'm done with the parentheses because it's a single number. So I can do my multiplication, and it's totally okay to do your multiplication, both multiplication problems in one step. So this 4 times negative 6 becomes negative 24. Okay? Now be super careful. This negative 3 times this negative 4 becomes a positive 12. And then you copy the rest of the equation down. All right? And then negative 24 plus 12 is negative 12, so you get negative 12 equals negative 12, and it checks, and everything is good to go. Okay? All right, one more of these. Again, the first thing you're going to ask yourself is there any distributing that can be done? There isn't, because there's no number outside of parentheses to multiply through. So now I'm going to see if there's any like terms. Well, I've got this 9 and this 5. Those two can go together, and they would add up to give me 14. So I would end up getting 34 equals, this turns into 14, and then I just copy down the minus 2x. All right? Now I want to get rid of the 14. And a lot of people will try to add 14 to both sides. Don't write this down right now. Think about this logically. What's 14 plus 14? It gives you 28. Does that help me cancel it out? Absolutely not. So what I'm going to do instead is get rid of the 14 by looking at the sign of the 14. Well, it's a positive 14, so I'm going to subtract it. Now ask yourself, is 14 minus 14 going to cancel out? Absolutely. 14 minus 14 is 0. So you end up getting 20 equals negative 2x. Now I can divide both sides by negative 2, and I end up getting negative 10 equals x. And I am done. Make sure to mark down any questions on the side of your paper and to ask me next time I see you in class. Have a great day.